Hello, everyone. My name is Melina Landrio. Today is February the 2nd, 2024. I've been guided by Spirit to share some stories, and they are going to be bringing them up for me through my cards when I start to connect with the cards. They are prompting me to share some of my experience over the last decade. Some of you might know me, but most of you don't. So I'll share a little bit about who I am. I am 45. I am a mother of four. And I have lived in a life with a lot of hardship and a lot of. I grew into a lot of really big experiences from a young age, many of which caused quite considerable knowledge for me to obtain. But before I could figure out and obtain this knowledge, I had to go through deciphering what these disservices, these experiences, these traumas held for me, meant for me, led me from and into. Becoming a single parent of a 2 month old and a 4 year old was a very huge shift in my life in 2015. And just prior to the shift, I lost my father in 2012. And my father struggled with mental health sickness. He was paranoid schizophrenic. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And so growing up, obviously, you can probably imagine I've seen a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of things. And I'm not going to go into any details about that. This is not the point of my video. I grew up with what I perceived as loving family. However, I just never really felt like I fit in. I always felt like I was a burden. I was never really accepted fully, especially in my abilities in mediumship and clairvoyance, psychic abilities. It was difficult for my family to have someone like me, which is fascinating because this is a gift that is passed through our lineage since the beginning of time. And, having somebody who's sick with an illness that causes a lot of the disruption with it is you see things, you hear things that are not necessarily there. So I feel like there was a bit of fear surrounding me when I was a young child when I first predicted a death in the family that I shouldn't have known about. Or I had a dream of somebody who passed that I didn't recognize in the dream, but when I was showed the picture of the person, it was made very clear I had a premonition. So from a young age, I've displayed these abilities and gifts, but I was never accepted or supported in them. And there was a family secret that I have unraveled through commencing my unity with tarot and oracle cards. I used to read them a long time ago for fun, mainly, as a teenager. However, I've been guided and prompted by Spirit to start to offer these connections, that these are part of my way forward. Fast forwarding to this past November, I became very clear on some information that was happening in my life. This information being that there was a people in my life who were trying to steal something from me spiritually. At least they thought that they could steal something from me spiritually, which is really fascinating to me because you can't really do this. I think people sometimes forget that there's a God. And I guess it depends on where your beliefs are in regards to that. There's a lot of circumstances, I guess, where things like this do occur. But I never really thought about it because it just wasn't something that I would think people would do to somebody, a friend, somebody who supports them, somebody who does the work. In 2013, I was guided to begin healing, and deeply. I became a Reiki master teacher. I also started to dive into shamanism. And I was guided by a spirit to a particular individual. And I spent extensive time training with this person's organization. And I really enjoyed the work. I thought it was a great place. But, there was a lot of those nuances that would happen where, like in my family, I didn't really feel quite accepted. Didn't really fit in. I'd have people smiling at me, telling me they love me or enjoy my company, yet I was feeling something quite indifferent from them, which confused me as an empath. There was a lot of confusion that started to spiral in for me, and a lot of disturbances. I must rewind, or perhaps fast forward to 2015, when my entire life crumbled. I was with a partner for 15 years. I just gave birth to my second child, and I had a 4-year-old. And all of a sudden, everything crumbled beneath me, and I was finding myself a single mom. Now, this was a blessing in disguise because it wasn't working, and we moved on. From there, I got a new home. I really trusted in God and the angels to guide me, and they delivered me a fantastic spot for me to grow with my 2 girls. I met somebody, and they've been watching me try to rebuild my life and structure, and we've been together ever since. And it's now going on 9 years, 8.5 years. All this to say, the amount of struggles that I have experienced over this past decade, from losing my home, everything, almost becoming homeless, living in housing, trying to rebuild my life with no support from my ex with daycare. So I'm working as well as taking care of my children. Trying to rebuild your life from circumstances like that is very difficult, especially when the father of your children doesn't get that they're supposed to help with this daycare aspect. They're supposed to take 50% of the experience in aiding. A little paycheck here and there every month, very little money may get us by, but it's really not enough compared to the amount that I put in, the amount I lose for the last 8.5 years. Actually, 9.5, 10 years. All this to say, in November of 2023, I became very aware that I have been under attack spiritually. That people were using manipulation and spirit. Essentially, what has occurred was so much sorcery, bad medicine, and spiritual warfare was going on against me, my partner, and my children, and our families. In part, anything that was bringing me joy or helping me in my purpose, helping me create the life I'm wanting to create for my children, seem to have become very difficult. Now, you have to understand, I have trained extensively with this organization for over 6 years with 3 certifications. I also went to college to get a 2-year degree in addictions as an addictions counselor. And I also obtained, through the same organization that I devoted my time to for shamanism, in obtaining a certification for hypnosis. Because I was none the wiser that I was under attack by the people that were supposed to be holding me in the work that I'm doing, because I'm working for their organization, their name, a place that I have sent multiple people to for business, a place that I have held in high regards and have done nothing but the highest of service towards them. So to find out that people were attacking me, people were trying to confuse me, people were trying to make me poor, keep me in poverty, and steal my future, is pretty much what it comes down to. The path that was destined to me is what they were getting in the way of. Now, you may not understand this about shamanic practice, but there are ceremonies where you can, and I can't speak for all shamanic practice, I can only speak from the shamanic practice I was taught at this organization. So this may not actually be shamanic practice, because as far as I'm concerned, what I have just realized I have experienced, to me, doesn't fit the mold of what a shaman or shamanic practice should be. And I have many friends with indigenous roots. In fact, I even have indigenous roots within my bloodline. Anyhow, it was hard for me to realize what has been going on, and it became very prevalent that I must connect with spirit, and I must listen to what was going on, and they helped me, my ancestors helped me through all of it. I am so grateful for my connection to spirit, my connection with God, and my connection with my ancestors, my spirit guides, and my team, as well as the angels, because boy, oh boy, if I wasn't woken up, this video would have not been made. This would be a very different story today. And I am very aware how these videos are going to come across, because there are people out there who try to attack me, try to hurt my kids they go out and try to steal the futures, meaning the gifts of children, the gifts of those who are very gifted in their courses. I mean, this is just apparently what this organization has been doing. And I was on a mission for God. This is what my purpose is in this life. And I accomplished my mission, because they were not expecting me to be able to make it through all that they dished out to me and my family. We are doing great. Things are healing. We are picking up our pieces and moving forward into our destinies as we should. And there's a lot of repercussions for those who have caused the ill will that they have on our family. We have had some tremendous losses. There has been bloodshed. There has been a lot of disturbance for my children, which, as I'm understanding in spirit and the law of the universe, is not cool. Definitely not cool from where I'm sitting. And there is going to be a lot of karma being dished out on those who wished ill will on us, pain on us, actually caused pain for us. What many of you may not understand is the amount of loss that has accumulated for us in our lives in this past decade. And it was all because of spiritual warfare. So spiritual warfare is real, and it happens not just from people that that might be an obvious enemy. It happens from people who you consider family. It is people who you consider good friends and family who will wish the worst for you. This is what I learned in this past decade. And I'm not dwelling on it. I'm not sitting in it in anything more than I feel sorry for those who contributed to it. I mean, they're obviously in some deep shit on a spiritual level to even consider and throw out the type of experiences that they dish to my children and to myself and my partner, our relationships. And I mean, it is what it is. So Spirit wants me to share with you a story, maybe two, I'm not sure, of what has occurred over the past decade. And so I'm going to pull some cards now, and I'm going to share what Spirit decides to dish out. I'm just going to do a quick little shuffle here. And at the bottom of the deck, there's a victory, and there's a lot of worry. So hence the tone of the reading. So the Six of Wands is a victory. This to me represents ancestors celebrating. There's symbolism here. There's strength, there's lineage, bloodline. This is what the Six of Wands expresses to me. And the Five of Wands is the beyond an experience. So this to me is the opposition, those that wish the ill will, those who sent the sorcery, those who knew what they were doing and still did it, even though they knew it was wrong or they were told not to do it. So this is the theme of the story at the top of the deck. So God, angels, my ancestors, and my spirit team, what story do you want to reveal today? Thank you. They want me to show you this. They want to talk about the blessings. The Ace of Cups is a blessing from the divine. It is something that is accumulated over lifetimes, that is offered as a beautiful omen over someone's life. And it is the omen of gesture, of prosperity, of abundance, of a baby, or abundance in financial stability, abundance in wealth, just a lot of good wishes. And the other card is the Two of Swords, which is coming to a crossroads here. So this story is also encompassing a blessing, which I just spoke about moments ago, where people were trying to steal my destiny. That would be considered taking a blessing. Okay. And the crossroads that occurred now. and what's going on beyond them. So show me what we need to see. So we have here, we have the 10 of Cups, which is, a lot of brilliancy. It's, sorry, my eyes are celebrating. It's joy, it's unconditional love, it's belonging, it's fulfillment, it's gratitude. And it's a culmination of moving forward in all of that. So this is the 10 of Cups, and this is right off the bat, they want to speak about the 10 of Cups. What about the 10 of Cups? Queen of Discs. So 10 of Cups to a Queen of Discs. And a Queen of Discs being a woman who's prosperous, who has devotion. She's very abundant and grounded. She's got her head on her shoulders. She's practical in her approach. She has a deep connection with nature. And she's great at creating safe, secure spaces. And has a lot of stability, a lot of truth encompassing who she is as a being. There's no questioning who she is what I'm getting. And I'm also being told to mention that this is a card that I reflect upon as myself in the deck. So when I started using the deck, this is the card that always came up when I asked about who I am in the deck. So this is who I resonate with as my card. And I have here Virtue. So the 3 of Wands has popped out. And the 3 of Wands being, a choice that had to be made. It's exactly what I just expressed. It was me deciding to witness everything that was in truth of what was going on in my life. Because I had these blinders on because I believe these people truly were my friends, and I am the type of person who doesn't just assume from my one-sided experience. I always try to look at it from everybody's point of view, and I really dive in deep before I make my reflection. And I really don't like to deem people in negative lights. However, I've just been made very aware of the negativity that surrounded me and encompassed me. And I have now learned and grown from that. So I'm very grateful for that aspect of the situation. So the 3 of Wands, it's a strategy, it's progress, it's choosing you, it's choosing and hope. This experience for me, it was, I choose spirit over anybody. They are the main truth for me, always have been. They have guided me and shown me. And what I did notice being in that program was my gifts were like weakening in ways. They were unbalanced in ways. And it was bizarre for me because my gifts have always been pretty on point. Yet I didn't question it, which was also bizarre. This is part of the spiritual warfare because somebody wished confusion on me. Someone wished that I wouldn't be able to connect to my gifts, and they offered death spells to my gifts, death spells to my life, death spells to my relationship. And this was not just like a one-off experience. This was something that occurred on a regular basis by multiple people, multiple groupings of people. So there's the 3 of Wands, me understanding that and being virtuous moving forward. And now here lies the 3 of Swords. So this is going to show you perhaps the remorse of another. This is the pain, the sorrow, the loss, and having to heal and to learn how to trust again. A lot of the people that hurt me were people who were supposed to be solid in my life, in one's life, family, siblings, mother, extended family shouldn't be holding such hardship for you, and friends that considered family shouldn't be holding such terrible intent for you. And when you're joining an organization to do the work of that organization, and you've never showed anything but promise, and I was always busy. I was creating circles, and I had lots that I was pumping out for a period of time before I had more children. And when I had more children, I took more time for them. And of course, I don't have daycare, so I'm, of course, working around my children's schedules. So just to be offered such a hardship while I'm going through all of that was even harder for us, because, living in a small home, trying to build your life back up, having, four little ones that you're trying to make their lives better. And you know that you have always had the ability to generate the materialistic gain for that, but it wasn't it wasn't coming in as promising as it used to. So to me, all of a sudden, I went from having so many followers, likes, people coming to my ceremonies, to all of a sudden not being seen, being almost blacklisted on these social media accounts. So this is kind of what occurred. This is what was happening. It was death spells, it was confusion spells, it was shut up spells, it was it was telling that I was doing my job. Because honestly, everybody, if you are having so much people hate on you, you have to think about it this way. You must be a fucking threat. You must be doing something good. There must be something going on that's making these people feel insecure, equipped. Something is off if they're focusing on your lane too much and not their own. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre behavior. It doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of like why I didn't see it, because it wasn't something that I was thinking. My brain didn't immediately go, oh, it must be all these people attacking me. No, my brain went to like, what is going on? What am I doing? I would always look at myself as the common denominator in any situation, right? And I think everybody should look at life that way. You should always look at you first before you point fingers at anybody else, because you're always the first source of your steps forward. But when everything around you is not lining up with your steps, with your intent, there's a question. So this is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is essentially blessings from the universe. It's giving you power. It's giving you authority over. It's helping you with energy. It's inspiring you. It's infusing passion, igniting passion in your experience. So from the Three of Swords, trusting in spirit, they handed me this wand, this extension of support, which was wonderful. And then we have the Prince of Wands as well. And the Prince of Wands being hold on here. This was it's the wand breathing in passion, igniting the spunk, the spirit, the spite, the force of you again, right? And the Prince of Wands is essentially stepping out of that into enthusiasm and exploring it, and using your instinct, reconnecting the instincts within you that were pulled away from you, and creating a new adventure forward. And this is what I did. I connected with spirit. I went up into shamanically. I went up, and not through the rites that I had in the training that I had. This is through God. I went up in spirit with my ancestors and created my way forward, and saw the devastation that has occurred. You know, when you witness it firsthand, you're showcased it by God, by angels, by your spirit, by your ancestors. You know the extent of it. And what was fascinating was how I got to see it continue the motion. I got to watch it happen. And, it light up all the actions of people in my surroundings and how their inauthenticity was apparent. Tell me more. So tell me about the Three of Swords that occurred. What occurred here? So it was people considered family. Something about June. Overpower. A father figure. A father figure. So I know what these all represent. I'm not going to place any names in my story because I don't roll like that. But for those of you that know me, you'll know to the extent of what I speak. Maybe you observed it, witnessed it, or partook in it. For those of you that don't know me, this was somebody that I trusted, that I considered family, who was like a father figure in their organization, as well as in my life. I really looked to them for advice and really sought them out for their experiences and help when I needed it. And a lot of the time they were the ones. This is the person causing it for me. All the shitty shit that happened to me. A lot of it. Tell me about. Yeah, actually, okay. I'll go to this one. So tell me about family. What is family? These cards with the plastic coating are a little bit difficult to shuffle. So, playing happy families is what I'm getting from this card. So, happy family. And this is what this one means. But it's playing happy family. It's deceitful. What happened in June? Something to do with a contract. So I broke a contract from this happy family. And also, so there's a contract. I don't know if you could see this. There's a contract card. And also the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So it's the throat, right? So bringing back power to my throat. So you guys are going to become very aware that I have a powerful voice. There's something to do with my throat that a lot of people had problems with. Me speaking my truth, me talking about this story, for instance. When I use my throat, when I speak, I don't speak just for the sake of speaking. I usually speak to help somebody, to enlighten somebody, to share my experience, and to be vulnerable in it as well. There's a lot to do with my voice. Okay. And tell me about power. Is this the one? Lots of adjacent possibilities. This one didn't pop out yet. So a lot of doors are open here, right? A lot of opportunities, and that's kind of what I was promised in this happy family. However, they weren't always what they seemed. See, there's one on the floor opened up, right? To the basement, to the you can see the white doors open at the end of the tunnel with lots of light here, which would represent God, heaven, and then the basement, right, representing devil type energies. So that's what I get for that. And contract, power, just indecisions, right? There's and it's in reverse, so just not what it appears. The indecision is not what it appears, is what I'm getting from this. The contract was not what it appeared. Was not what it appeared. And Archangel Gabriel. Oops, that's too many cards. That's too many cards. Let's do this again. There we go. Okay, woman holding a coin. So that's me. That's me. My blessing at the beginning. When I spoke about the blessing, that would be what that's implying. So let's see here. Can you give me an archetype for father? Or for the Queen of Discs? Let's do father. Oops. So, martyr, sorry, I can't see the R there. Martyr, light attributes, learning to the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. And in the shadow attribute, it's addiction to self-pity. So I'm going to, this is the father, somebody who has a shadow attribute, an addiction to self-pity. Is there anything else? Let's see here. So we have, an advocate. So in the light attribute, this based on who I know this is and who I know I am. So advocate inspires you to put compassion into action. And although I do feel that's in part me, there's also a shadow attribute here, embracing negative causes or commitment to cause for personal gain. So I believe that this is the father attribute, and I believe it's in the shadow, because that is exactly what they did. They committed, they embraced negativity to commit issues for me for their own personal gain. The destroyer in the shadow is intoxication and destructive power, and they do hold a place of power in the community, perceived power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So that's for sure that person as well. So they're a martyr, a destroyer, and an advocate in the shadow. So they're all in the negative. Seeker, somebody who thirsts for wisdom and truth wherever they are. I definitely like to learn things. I have definitely inspired and learned a lot from this situation, so I'm going to take that as my card. And I definitely resonate with being a mystic who revels in intimate union with the divine. I speak to God, angels, and my ancestors on the daily because I just love them so much, and I'm so grateful for my life here on earth. So I will take those cards as mine. So what was done to the woman holding the coin with these adjacent possibilities? Oops, that's too many cards. Grandma. Well, there was some beauty spells done on me to make me look older. Maybe they wanted me to be a grandma. I don't know if that one fits, but we'll go into some more. What was done to the Queen of Discs? Yep, they worked on my daughter, and they offered the evil eye. That was done. I don't have my mom in my life anymore. There's been a lot of disregard, which was bizarre for me to experience with my family. And I don't know the words I'm looking for, but I do believe that this situation brought that into respect, into play. So the teacher mentor came into play, but it was in the reverse. We have ill intent, and it was in the reverse, so that is karma coming back. So their ill intent they wish for me is coming back to them. They were somebody who can have clear feeling, so they were clairsentient and also claircognizant. However, their gifts have been revoked, and that is now being returned back, revoked. So their karma is for what they have done to myself and my family. A lot of it is being all of it is being sent back. They're experiencing what they have sowed. So this is that part of the story. So I am going to be calling these episodes, and they'll be shorter in future. But I will be calling these episodes storytelling, maybe. There'll be some sort of spiritual warfare attachment notification to them, so you can become aware in the future when I start doing these readings, because Spirit is wanting me to speak upon these readings and what has occurred. So this is what's come out for today. So you got a little bit of a story about my teacher, somebody I trusted, and what has occurred. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whatever time of day this video has met you. And until next time, many blessings. Take care.